beautiful people. Today we're making a spongy pumpkin bread using a couple of ingredients. This pumpkin bread is gluten-free, and also we're using a bit of monk fruit sweetener instead of sugar to make it a super healthy bread.
First, preheat oven on 350 Fahrenheit. And in the large bowl, 1/3 cups gluten-free flours, around 210 grams.
Okay, so around 200 grams of gluten-free flour. There are so many kinds of gluten-free flour on the market, so you can, pick and choose depending on your preference. I think you can also choose almond flour, but the issue with almond flour is that it might change the flavor of your pumpkin bread. So you want to use gluten-free flour that doesn't have a bold flavor, because we don't want the flavor of our bread to be dominated by almonds, if that makes sense.
Half teaspoon baking powder.
Okay.
And also half teaspoon baking soda.
Okay. And why are we adding both? Can we just add one of them? Can people just use 1 teaspoon of baking powder?
For making bread, have to add a little of the baking soda.
Okay.
And we have also cinnamon that we need 1.5 teaspoon.
Cinnamon makes everything great. And the good thing about this bread is that you don't need to use yeast, so it doesn't have to, this bread doesn't have to rest.
This is the salt. Little we add the salt.
How much salt are we using?
This half teaspoon.
Half teaspoon, okay.
Okay, we have also the nutmeg. We need half teaspoon. If you have a fresh nutmeg, if use of this is much better. But because I don't have, I use of the powder of nutmeg.
And the reason behind that is because if you freshly grate some nutmeg, it has a more of an intense flavor, right?
Yes. And also half teaspoon of ginger.
Okay.
Now sift it up.
Oh, it smells so good. The ginger, the cinnamon, and nutmeg. It's very, very delightful.
And we mix it more with tablespoon.
Okay.
In a second large bowl,
Okay, what do we add?
we add half cup of the vegetable oil, around 120 milli.
So around 120 milligrams. Okay. And this is actually, are we using olive oil or what is it? What kind of oil are we using?
That's vegetable oils.
Oh, it's actually olive oil.
That's a canola and
It's canola. It's canola and extra virgin olive oil. But I think people can use any vegetable oil, correct?
yes.
Okay.
We have 2 eggs that I cracked inside the oil.
We have 2 room temperature eggs. It's quite crucial to, put your eggs outside of the refrigerator for about 30 minutes so it becomes room temperature.
We have 1 cup monk fruit sweetener.
And the thing is, guys, we are using monk fruit sweetener instead of sugar because it's a healthy option. And you can definitely use stevia or erythritol. There are so many options in the market, so feel free to use anything that you believe is healthy instead of sugar.
Okay, we add a little, around half teaspoons vanilla.
Vanilla extract, okay.
We have 1/3 cup milk, and I added it.
Yummy. Okay, and this is whole milk, correct?
Yes, whole milk. And you can use of the almond milk or water.
Water.
If you can, use of the water. It's dependent to you.
Once you add all of your ingredients, you want to go ahead and whisk it, either using a manual whisk or an electronic whisk for about a minute until everything is mixed and incorporated.
Okay, we have 1 3/4 cup pumpkin puree.
Nice. And this is actually homemade. So of course you can purchase pumpkin puree from the grocery store, but I believe it's a better option to just buy some pumpkin, cook it in water for about 30 minutes, and then, carve out the inside so that you can achieve a smooth and luxurious pumpkin puree. Can people add any food coloring to this?
You can add a food color, but I think pumpkin have enough orange, nice color.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, now we're going to add the
Flour mixture.
dry ingredients to the wet ingredients.
Okay.
And again, we mix it. Have to be like a yogurt at the end.
Okay. Would you say that the finished batter should be similar to a cake batter?
Little thicker.
Little thicker. Okay. All right, beautiful people. So we just have this aluminum container that we have greased using some vegetable oil, and I put some parchment paper in it to make sure that it doesn't stick to the bottom of the container. And now that we have the bread batter ready, we can go ahead, pour it in, and transfer it to the oven, which we have preheated at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. As you can see, the mixture's consistency is, slightly thicker than a cake batter. And we want to, take our time to really smooth it out. Keep in mind that for this particular recipe, we use gluten-free bread, but you can of course use regular all-purpose wheat flour. The last step would be smoothing the surface of it, because you want your cake to have somewhat of a flat to circular top. And now it's ready to go into the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and this will take about 30 to 40 minutes to cook. And I definitely recommend each and every one of you to supervise it, every 10 minutes to make sure that the heat is not too low and your bread is not, getting burned.
The pumpkin bread is ready. It's fluffy and very delicious.
Yes, the color looks absolutely phenomenal. Keep in mind that this bread is gluten-free, which is why it's not as fluffy as a regular, wheat bread. So if you make this with a flour that has gluten in it, it will rise and become much more spongy and fluffy. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this recipe. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends and family members, subscribe to our channel, and we'll talk to you in our next episode. Take care.
Bye.